Jim Nixon?
Hercligdis, yes.
Hercligdis, yes. That's call-in user 3. Jim Nixon, yes. Are you there, Jim? Okay. I do not hear from Jim. Kevin Morrison?
Kevin Morrison, yes.
Call-in user 6. Hercligdis, you made the second.
And yeah, Hercligdis is in favor.
Yes. Tony Cox?
Tony Cox is a yes.
Michelle Austin?
Michelle Austin is a yes.
Darren Talent?
Darren Talent is a yes.
Mayor Williams?
Mayor Williams, yes.
Okay. So the motion to approve the minutes has been recorded. Also, everybody was able to get the financials via email as well. I know they look good. When I was looking over them, considering everything that the business alliance has been through in the last literally 12 months now almost. Does anybody have any questions or concerns about the financial statement? I also have on the agenda that we're adding a board member, Steve. That's part of the approval of financials.
Well, the financials can be approved separately. It's under this category because it's all board business. This is Steve Krimpaski, and I'm leaving this on until we make a decision, or if anybody has prospects for a board member. We do have an open position due to the passing of David Purvis. So that's why that's on the agenda. And also I wanted to update everybody that the annual report has been filed, which was part of the minutes of last month, some of the activity that needed to take place.
Hey, Steve, this is Herc. I just want to, the gentleman I was talking to about a potential board membership has decided to pass on the opportunity. So that option is off the table.
Okay. And I just thought it'd be appropriate at some point probably after the financials have been approved, to discuss what type of board member we'd like to have in the retail sector or other sector of the community.
Mayor Williams, motion to approve financials.
Kevin Morrison, second.
Candace Viox is yes. Jim Nixon?
Yes.
Kevin Morrison?
Yes. Kevin Morrison, yes.
Hercligdis?
Hercligdis, yes.
Tony Cox?
Tony Cox is a yes.
Michelle Austin?
Michelle Austin is a yes.
Darren Talent?
Darren Talent is a yes.
Mayor Williams?
Mayor Williams, yes.
Okay. So the approval of financials has been accepted. The annual report, Stephen just shared with everybody that has been filed. And yes, we are looking for a new board member. Is there any specific, do we need a CPA background or an accountant background? Would this board member have an active role in the financial kind of area, or are we just needing a general business board member, Steve, and everybody else in the group?
Well, Kevin Morrison will be our new treasurer, and now we're still bringing him up to speed on things, but it's not. I don't think financial is necessary. We do have a lot of new small businesses. What I think we're looking towards beefing up the retail and post-COVID. I don't know. We've got you representing the restaurant sector. Darren's over here with the hotels. I'm just wondering what other, Michelle is our big box person. I'm just wondering what else we want to do. And locating a new board member. Anybody?
Somebody on the boutique end or something like that. We don't have anybody from that aspect.
From what, Michelle? I'm sorry, I didn't understand you. Would you suggest?
Sorry, I was walking into my store and had a mask on. What about like the boutique end? We don't really have anybody with a boutique background or a small business in our group.
I think would be a great idea. I know I have lots of connections with salons, spa, Farragut businesses, so I'll reach out as well this week and see if there's anybody interested. Does anybody else have any other kinds of suggestions that would add to our board?
Mayor Williams, possibly a realtor.
I'm also wondering if we should look at any kind of diversity or any Black-owned businesses or any other minority-owned businesses, female-owned, to add to the mix. So.
Okay, well, I think all of us then should reach out with our contacts this week, and we can just email each other, or do you want me to, Steve, have them get in contact directly with you to put them on the agenda as an invitation for next month's meeting? Is that what you're thinking?
Well, if anybody is interested, they can certainly contact me, and I will be happy to give them a background and a history of the organization, even show them our bylaws and what we're trying to do, and bring them up to speed, and then let any board member or any other set of board members talk with them further about nominations. I mean, we don't have to rush the process, but it's an item that I think that we need to, keep on the board until we fill the position.
Okay. Next, we're moving on to the content committee. That would be Tony Cox with our impressions, Facebook, Instagram. Tony, can you please take it away?
I can. Very short window since our last meeting, so this will be a very short update. We actually had a pretty busy Facebook presence during the month of over the last 28 days. The Shop Farragut portion, which would be the right page to have the most activity right now, had a total reach of 1,396 people. 95 page views, which I thought was pretty impressive. That was actually up 53% from the previous 28-day cycle. So that was nice to see there. 230 post engagements and 10 new likes that came on board. And you keep in mind, this is not a month that we had any type of real event or anything going. I think Steve did a nice job of trying to keep the focus on Valentine's Day and leading up to everything that was happening over this past weekend. In the Taste of Farragut, we had, again, this is not an account or not an area that we would expect to have a lot of activity right now, simply because there's no activity going on toward any type of Taste of Farragut event. 291 post reach, 58 engagements, and 28 page views. So I'm not really disappointed with that over the last 28 days, simply because there's no, again, no real activity that was going on other than a few shares. I believe Steve had some shares going out over across the Taste of Farragut regarding Valentine's Day. But in general, the main activity happened on the Shop Farragut page, which included posts of openings and restaurants and in retail activity. As far as our Twitter activity is concerned, we had 923 impressions so far during the month of February. I'm sorry I didn't go back and gather information from January, which I should have, but if you take into account that, again, not a lot of activity that of events and things that we would normally have going on. These are all just posts that were shared from other businesses inside of Farragut. I'm not disappointed at all with the 923 impressions and 23 actual profile visits. So that means that people actually went to learn more about Shop Farragut. So that's it for me.
Thank you, Tony. I know I'm seeing at the restaurant a ton of people from out of state, and I'm not exaggerating, a ton of people from California, New York, Pennsylvania, Illinois, Chicago. They are all coming to Farragut and asking the local businesses, even me in particular, how they can get more information, and they're meeting with realtors at the restaurant. So there are a lot of people that think that Farragut is Knoxville and didn't realize that Farragut was its own kind of unique township. So my staff, I've been training them that if they hear about buzz or people talking about Farragut, to come and get me so I can go and greet the table. But you would not believe the first time people that have been coming to the restaurant, staying in the hotels, meeting with real estate agents, and they have a ton of questions about Farragut. And I've just been sending them to the Shop Farragut and the Town of Farragut website. So I hope that's helping.
Candace, just if I may ask, I'd love to get with you and kind of get a rundown of the sort of questions they're asking. Um, I'm working with some of our other staff here at the town. We're making updates to our website. We're trying to refresh the information that's available. And so if there's information that they're asking for that maybe we don't have that we could put on there, I'd love to be able to put that on our website.
That would be great. And another thing that I just got from Karen Tyndall was the new Tennessee Tourism Visitor Guide that came out. I don't know if anybody was able to get that in their email as well, but Farragut does have a section in that, which I was very excited to see. And a lot of people, they want to know about our schools, they want to know about the neighborhoods and the parks. The park and recreation work that Karen and the tourism travel board, um, getting Farragut out as the place to live healthy with sidewalks, crosswalks, safety. It's working because people didn't even know Farragut was a thing. They assumed they were in Knoxville. So I would be glad to help you with any of that information, Trevor. You can just send me some information.
Oh,
Come
thank
over
you.
and we can talk.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay, on to the director's report. Steve, the Farragut Bridal Fair, that's pretty exciting. We only have 4 booths left available, so it's almost sold out.
Correct. I'm going to start my report real quick, let you know that for the last few days here, we've been moving into our new home here in Brookmere. And we just gained a next door neighbor from Washington State. So they're breaking ground behind my house here from somebody moving in from Washington. Okay, the Farragut Bridal Fair. We are at 24 booths. I sent along a little attachment yesterday's reminder email about where we're sitting with the bridal fair booths and who's involved. We do have 4 spaces. Over the past month or so, I've had some inquiries about the fair. People ask for information. I even sent along an application. And I think maybe some of the smaller businesses just don't feel like spending the money right now, so that I haven't had any um, I haven't hooked anybody in. They've been nibbling, but I still think that with only 4 booths left, we're in good shape moving forward here right now. A very large ad has been placed and will be part of the upcoming Farragut Press newspaper Bridal tab. Tony, do you know what date that hits?
It'll be coming out next week, Steve.
Next week. Okay.
That is correct.
So we got some beautiful artwork there, and everyone, all the participants are named, and sponsors are all listed. So the bridal fair, I've been sending out little social media and email and tweets and things along that nature. And I have not received any negative response from people at this time about COVID or anything along those lines. And that's why I've been cautiously just sending things out, reminding people, hold the date, and letting people involved. But don't seem to have any negative feedback about hosting an event in April. Any questions about the bridal fair? I'll be sending out invoices first of the month here to all of our participants, which will help with our cash flow. Next, I have Music Fest. I've had the opportunity to meet with Tommy Van over at West End Shopping Center. And he is, delighted once again to host Music Fest. And we have the dates of July 9 and 10 on his calendar now. Of course, talking with him, we spent a lot of time. He's excited that he's able to keep that plaza to full capacity over there. Things are looking great. And of course, in the next few days, Euphoric Cheese is opening. I think today's their opening day. So there's a lot of activity going over there. I went over to a ribbon cutting at the Admiral Nutrition too. So he told me that he was thanking the Lord every day that he's able to keep things going there, and looks forward to Music Fest. We've completed a contract with Dog Days, and the first deposit has been made, and that's moving forward. Smoky Mountain Dock Dogs couldn't be more excited about us moving forward again. I've already received several emails from their president and other board members thanking us for hosting it once again. Okay, my report's pretty quick. If anyone has any questions, just
do we have a date? Do we have a date for Dog Days yet, or is that something after the deposit that we get that date?
No, it's already set. August 13, 14, 15. Try to keep it on that same weekend prior to kickoff of football. It's a good time right before school starts and warm weather. So. Next on my list is the grand opening sign. That is an item that I've been working with the town on, having to do with the sign ordinance and our ability to help the town with businesses and the use of a grand opening sign moving forward. In the past, the town had a very cumbersome 4-foot by 8-foot plywood contraption that had to be loaded up on a trailer or a giant truck to get out to the businesses, and it actually never fit any of the real sign ordinance specifications. This new sign, which I just submitted and got approved this morning, is a 20 square foot a use of the temporary sign that has grand opening across the top, Shop Farragut logo at the bottom, and a 2 foot by 5 foot section that local businesses can place their information about their grand opening, whether they use it for logo or information or specific time and date. It's up to them. So the content is up to the businesses. They get a free use of this sign for 10 days prior to their grand opening or during their grand opening. I'll have 2 of these signs made up and start, the town will funnel me people that are interested into it, or I'll talk to new businesses about the use of the grand opening signs. And we control that, and I just keep Holly Marlowe and the gang over in the Mark Shipley's office informed about who's using them at the different times. So I'll get those manufactured this week. I'll try to keep 2 of these signs on hand so that we can have multiple businesses openings at the same time. Any questions? Okay. Trevor informed me that the town had some clear glass display cases available over at Town Hall. Did they come from the museum? Where did they come from, Trevor?
They were over time they've been used by the museum and the beautification committee to put in extra exhibits or holiday decorations and that sort of thing, but they're not really being used for that anymore.
Well, if you go up to the second floor offices or go over to Knox County clerk's office there, you'll be able to see these 3 glass cases. They're corner cases, so you'll walk right by them. And we started an initiative to get local businesses to use those. And my plan is to have 3 businesses per month occupy each one of the cases. And I put a little email out a few weeks ago, and we've had an overwhelming response to it. I think on that insert that I added yesterday, I have a list of businesses that have already signed up, and we're good through the month of July with businesses to occupy that. I believe one business has already put their information and some merchandise in one of the cases. Belltone and Cool Sports will be adding to that, and they're good through the month of March. So after March, each month, I'll have a rotation of 3 different businesses using those display cases, and everyone was delighted to get involved with that. So I don't see a problem moving forward about keeping those cases filled up for you, Trevor.
Sounds great. Thank you, Steve.
And other than that, I've been doing things remotely here. My daughter came down with COVID, so we're quarantining over here until next week. So if you want to contact me, I'm here, and which is, I guess, fortuitous since there's a lot of boxes to unpack too at the same time. So that's my update.
Thank you, Steve. Does anybody have any questions about the events on the director's report or anything at this time that they'd like to discuss or share concern about? Okay, then at this time, we'll move forward with the Town of Farragut report from David Smoke, please.
Thanks, Candace. This is David, and I just have a couple of things to update the FBA on today. One is last week, the Board of Mayor and Aldermen approved, or last month, the Board of Mayor and Aldermen approved changes to the land use and zoning modifications for the Biddle Farm project. That project then would need to eventually come forward with a site plan, and the site plan is what allows them to actually physically construct the buildings and the roads and everything else that goes into the project. It's the actual construction documents for that. And that'll be coming to the Planning Commission at some point in time here in the next month or two, I'm sure. But I know they're working hard on trying to get that back to the Planning Commission as soon as possible. Tonight, the Planning Commission is going to be meeting, and they have one item on their agenda regarding a retail facility. It's called Horizon Plaza. That's going to be at the corner of Kingston Pike and Admiral Road. It's a new retail mall or strip mall there, located on about 6 acres of land. And so they are going to come forward with a site plan request for that. 2 items that were on the agenda are both being pulled off the agenda at the request of the applicant. Those are rezonings for the Ford property and for the Horn property north of Ingalls. So I'm sure those will come back at a future date, but I know they were trying to make some modifications to those. So we'll look forward to seeing those here in the near future. One good piece of news I think I may have shared, the last few months, just kind of telling you where our sales tax revenue for the town has been. We have numbers through the end of November, so not quite through the December Christmas time yet, but through the end of November, we're about 5% up over last year's same year-to-date numbers. So that's encouraging, given the fact that those numbers last year were pre-COVID. So we're hoping that that continues on into the spring, into the summer as well. And then also a couple of new businesses that I know have opened up recently. One is US Cellular, has a site right there next to the Dojo, which is a donut shop there in Turkey Creek near the Massage Envy Retail Center. So both those have opened up just about next to each other in that center here recently. The final thing is just a little bit of construction going on. You've seen, if you've gone down to Dixie Lee Junction, you've seen the Kingston Pike villages down there at the corner of Kingston Pike and Watt Road. A lot of dirt moving right now, a lot of things getting out of there to start construction. So that'll be going for quite some time, but certainly one big project that's been on the books for a while and finally got started here in the last couple months. So with that, I'd be happy to try to answer any questions.
Okay, it seems like there are no questions for David at this time. Is there any new business or any information or anything that Mayor Williams you would like to share, or anybody else on this directors meeting that would like to talk about at this time?
Mayor Williams, I guess the last time I talked with Sam Farragut, he said that Top Golf is still a go, and that hopefully they'll close by the end of this month and be getting some documents and paperwork to us sometime in March to get started on that project. So other than that, David's covered what's, I guess, the highlights. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Is there anybody else that has any questions or concerns before the meeting is adjourned today?
One more thing from Mayor Williams. I guess I want to be the first to congratulate Candace with her first wedding anniversary.
Thank you, Mayor. Yep, that's coming up in a couple days. You were in my dining room with your beautiful wife, marrying Richard and I, so I appreciate that. Okay, does anybody like to make a motion to adjourn?
Mayor Williams, so moved.
Okay, the meeting is now adjourned. Thank you, everybody. Do I need to do a roll call for that one, or can we just wave?
Adjournment doesn't need to vote.
Okay, good. You guys have a wonderful day. Thank you.
Bye-bye.